From a rainy Imola, welcome to PSGL Season 30 F3, the penultimate round of PlayStation Formula 3. As I've just said, it is a very wet day here at Imola, and you're probably wondering, where's James Head gone? Well, he's went to cover Jess, because Jess is, I think, on holiday somewhere, but he's going to be doing F2 for the night. I'm your normal co-commentator, or tonight main commentator, Otaku Logan, and I am joined by a former PSF1 commentator, Cherry2 Pie. Good to have you here tonight.
Yeah, cheers, thank you very much. It looks to be a great Grand Prix ahead of us. Already got a bit of weather spicing it all up, obviously here in Imola for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. A track that normally I would kind of say doesn't really produce good racing when you look at it in real life, but on the game it's completely different. With the long back straight, there's always something to be thrown in the spanner works. So today, a bit of rain to start it off.
Oh dear, and it's a horrible start. I was about to say about Imola, but we've just saw Will Murdoch immediately go off the track. He's struggling in the inters, and it is pretty much inter conditions, but that did not look like it was ready for the track. That's not what you want to do exiting the pit lane, but thankfully Will Murdoch has stayed out, but I do suspect he may have to go back and change his wing again. We've got a few drivers on track. Just to let you know on the standings, our current leader is Rudy with 82 points. Matthew in second is promoted, so we do not count him. Noof is in second with 62, so a 20-point gap. So Noof has to win ahead of Rudy by 3 points at least to stay in the title race. Actually, no, 4 points, because he has no wins, so he has to score 4 points or more than Rudy does tonight to stay in the championship. Otherwise, Rudy will be in. Have you saw something?
No, I just saw I saw Murdoch give a little bit of a drift around Ravazza, just going onto his first hot lap, as we've got a yellow flag, but I think it's just people slowing down. Yeah. Will Murdoch will be the first to kind of set his lap, but very interesting, as you say, that a champion could be crowned tonight.
Yes, indeed. Continuing on the standings, Joey has 58. Ronzus has 49. I do believe they are the only drivers that mathematically can win the title. Ronzus has to be perfect, win and the fastest lap in both races, and the others not to score, but that is a astronomical chance, I have to say. All eyes will be on Noof and Joey. If they can get a big victory over Rudy tonight, remember 16 points for a win, 12 for second, 10 for third, then this title race is still on. Otherwise, Rudy will be your F3 champion. Rudy is right there. Go on.
Sorry, I was just on board with Will, and he's backed out of it. He's got a whole host of understeer and a lot of oversteer. It's pretty tricky conditions, and to be honest, like with this amount of cars going out now, it's really kind of making me think, do we potentially think that the rain could be getting a bit heavier later in the session? Because they're all trying to get laps in straight away.
I'm on with Resnick right now, who has went wide at the penultimate corner, hasn't invalidated his lap because he didn't gain an advantage, and that's fair enough. Will Murdoch sets the benchmark at 1:27. Resnick will surely go faster. He does 1:25, bang on, exactly 85 seconds, but is immediately blown out of the water by Yogurt, who didn't even need to have a Muller light there. Sorry, I had to. I know. As I was saying, yes, Imola, a track that's been on the Formula 1 character since 1980 or 81, I'm not sure. I do know it hosted the only Italian Grand Prix that wasn't hosted by Monza. That's a fact for you. And they wanted to have another one, and I think we saw a spin there.
Oh. Yeah, final corner, Ravazza. It is Hyper who's gone round. Hyper
has had a shocker there, and he's going to come into the pits with a sad face under his visor. He'll have to go again. Rudy at the top again. Now remember, because of course the inter tyres are designed for rain and not designed for grip and wear, they do not have to go one and done. They can go as many laps as they want, and they're still setting some. Lewis going into fourth with a 1:23.63. Yes, but Imola, a legendary circuit, of course, has been tweaked and overturned a few times, of course. Reasons we really don't want to mention because it is quite sad. Of course, we lost the great Ayrton Senna here after a freak accident as Will Murdoch goes 2 tenths ahead of Rudy. Yes, we lost both Ratzenberger and Senna at this track 28 years ago this month. We just hope something like this never happens again. So they had to change the format, the layout in 1995. They then changed the layout, and as you can see, Maledictus having a spin.
Whoa!
And whoa, what's happened there?
Will Murdoch again. You can see, I mean, he's a driver that I know personally, and I know that he really likes these kind of wet weather conditions, but he's really pushing the limit there, and he's even touched the wall, and I thought if it was a little bit quicker, his wheel could have even came off there.
Yeah, indeed. Markados currently has the top time, a 1:22.363. And I try to scrape through and see who is on a lap. I think Joey's on one. He's faster than he was. I don't think he's going to be actually, no, scratch that. He's invalidated and backed off and going again. Yes, he's going again. 7 seconds slower than last time. How did I not spot that? I don't know. I'm a bad cameraman. 11 minutes and 40 seconds to go in this session. Remember, if it is dry, actually those rules do not apply, but normally, and this will be the second to last time we implement this rule, the top 10 would start on their own tyres, but they will not. They will be starting on any tyre they want because it's a wet session. That would be either if it's a wet qualifying or a race, so we don't have to worry about that rule. So you can go any way you want as Yogurt crosses the line to start another lap. Who is on a lap, Cherry?
I'm just looking at Courts at the moment coming around the final corner. I'm not too sure. It's going to be better. It's going to be an improvement on what he's already done, but he only goes up to 8th. It's interesting what you were saying there about the free tyre selection, because I feel like a lot of drivers might opt to go for the medium compound tyre, because especially if you're at the front, getting off that soft compound tyre early could either be one option, or going a hell of a lot later on the medium and using the soft grip at the end of the race to make a chargeback could be the best option for one of the drivers.
Yes, indeed. Of course, just remember we also have, later on, we have PlayStation F1. Oh dear, and that's a bad corner by Rudy. Sorry about that. At Tamburello, the 1995 Tamburello, of course. And that will be the end of his voyage here at the Imola circuit for now. But as I was saying, yes, we have PlayStation F1 later tonight. We've got F2 running as well. F1, I believe, is going to be Jess. Yes, that's why she's not on holiday. She's only covering for Luke Etheridge's absence. Luke Etheridge is the one at work. So, good luck, Jess, on commentating top-tier PlayStation. I have the absolute faith in her. She's an absolutely fantastic commentator. Please give her all the support she deserves. And that will be on at 8 o'clock, 1 hour later than us. And that will be the same time the Newcastle game's on. So, you can watch both if you want. Yeah, I'm sorry, okay? But yes, that's all to come. But now, we have around halfway through the session here at Imola. Markador is still the man on top to beat as some of the drivers come flooding out for their next lap. We've got to be careful at the pit lane. Some of the drivers like to go wide here, heading into the first corner. Well, first proper corner. The first corner is right after you cross the finish line, or cross the pole position. So it's quite unorthodox. It used to be further forward, or further back I should say, the start line, but of course they've moved that. They removed the old final chicane from before 2007. So it has taken, as I said, a lot of change. As I struggle to look for any drivers on a lap. I think Maledictus is backing out.
Yoga is on a lap, he's currently 4 tenths up, but I mean, looking at it, to be honest, I feel like he's got so much time still yet to gain because he's drifting out of every single corner. Coming up to Ravazza, turn 17 and 18 now before he sets hopefully an improved lap time. A double front lockup. I'm not sure if it's just a spectator cam. And a little bit deep as well. But he gets on the power nevertheless, coming up to the line. What's it going to be? So Yoga in the Aston Martin. Will it be an improvement? Yes! Pole position.
Better than an improvement. Top of the board. Top of the shop. Try and beat that or you're going to be mullered. Oh, God. That's the 74th Muller joke I've made about this gentleman. I am very sorry. Assuming that he is a gentleman, I believe. Rudy's invalidated. He's going to have to go again. Either that or he might pit. Yeah, he's going to pit. Sensible fella. He speeds into the pit lane. That's going to be a big fine coming his way. And please send it in the post. I am actually struggling to see who's on a lap. There's been a bit of a lull in the action. Dutch Missiles on a lap.
Being midway through the session now, that a lot of these drivers, it's probably been the first time that they've ever been out in these kind of wet conditions. I highly doubt a lot of them. While the Dutch missile is round. That is a missile if I've ever seen one.
That's
a lot
not
of these drivers wouldn't have practiced in the wet conditions, so at the moment they're probably still trying to get kind of a feel for the track. And now that they've all come back into the pit lane, they'll be taking the fuel down a lot more, getting a new set of intermediate tyres, and I think that will easily get into the 21s when it comes to pole position.
Yeah, so I think the track may be improving, may not. I'm not too sure. It must be improving because Marcados is on a lap right now, and he's come out of the final, the Variante there. I don't have the map on right now, and there's no corner names. It's just the F1 map. Come through the final two corners now. Can he get back on top? Let's find out as he crosses the line. It will be a 1:22.195. He takes top position once again. I am on now with Hyper, who is come out to the chicane. Welcome to all of you watching, by the way. 15 viewers so far. I'm sure because of F2 on, I'm going to be pretty much the same. As Hyper's backed out, I think he's going to go another shot, while Murdoch is on for another shot here. Coming through the Tamburello, the Variante Tamburello, let me just call it Tamburello, it's always been that name. And then it will be the Variante Gilles Villeneuve, rather. Of course, this was the last track which Gilles Villeneuve finished the race and unfortunately lost his life at the next race in Zolder in 1982 before heading up to Tosa and now Paratella. A fast left-hander this, but you got to be careful you put your tyres in the right place or you'll be invalidated. Same goes for the Aquamilanari, a very infamous corner on the Imola circuit. Then another one, Variante Alta. Of course, Charles Leclerc lost it here in the real world, and Will Murdoch nearly did, but he's okay. Is anyone else on a lap? As Marcados pits, I think he's invalidated. Yes, Rudy is about to start his lap. I mean, Will Murdoch is the next highest driver coming out of the final corner now. He's improved, but has he improved enough? Not enough to take top spot or top three, but fourth is pretty decent, I have to say. He's got 5 minutes to improve on it though, Cherry.
Yeah, I was watching the whole of that lap, and to be honest, I didn't think it looked that bad, and I was kind of surprised to see him a little bit, not as close to the front as I thought, and he's now currently in the grass. Very interesting choice by Will.
Oh, jeez.
I'm assuming he's probably fueled for a few runs, so still getting, I mean, in wet conditions, it's all about temperatures and confidence, so a few more laps on the tyres isn't going to do him any damage, and I'm on board with Yogurt, who's preparing for his lap, as he'll be going to try and take provisional pole position back off Marcados. Elsewhere, just looking down the grid, I can't see too many people. Lewis is on a hot lap, 4.5 tenths up in the first chicane, as yet again the Dutch missile, deja vu, and he's invalidated that lap there, has Lewis. So elsewhere, it's a little bit quiet as they start to settle down for the final few minutes of qualifying.
Yes, indeed, I'm on board of Rudy, who is not improved in the second sector. He's going to have to find a miracle, a Christmas miracle, I'd have to say, to try and knock Marcados off the top spot. Coming to the line now, I don't think he's going to be improving. Well, he does improve, but he doesn't improve in terms of position. He remains in third place for now. He is about 1.5 tenths off. Is he going to go again, perhaps? And just behind him is a certain Yogurt coming through the Tamburello. Of course, you've got to get this inch perfect and very wide there out of turn number 4, but he lives on. And then it's Villeneuve, as right in front of him, Maledictus gives him the nod to go into Tulsa on his own. And oh my word, his left tyre there just grazing the grass over the curb. And now he's going to be heading up into Paratella. Howley fair with this corner, and he's gone a little wide. He's off the track, and It's not invalidated, but I'm sure he's lost a load of time from that, heading into Aquamilanari, and he doesn't cut it, but he doesn't look very comfortable, does he, Cherry?
No, he doesn't at all. Just a little bit of a... I'm not sure what device he's on, if he's on a wheel or a pad, but it just seemed a little bit of a stab into it that would maybe suggest that he's on the pad in these conditions, which really caused a lot of understeer. Rudy into the final chicane now. He doesn't look like he's going to improve. He's nearly in the gravel, in fact, but still around the corner nevertheless. We've got a yellow flag elsewhere. I'm not sure what for. Maybe a smooth...
Oh, he takes the top spot! Is that a sign?
To the 21s.
Is that a sign the track's improving? It could be. Yogurts went up into third by but 6 thousandths off... Actually, no. Yeah, he did set that lap, didn't he? Was that his last lap there? But he's 6 thousandths off Marcados, who's coming out now towards the final few corners. And this is where it really starts to heat up. I think it's getting drier out there. I'm not sure, but it does look like it's getting drier, so the times might be coming down like a ton of bricks.
10th and a half up on his current time, which would put him into the top 4.
Doesn't look very comfortable at all, so he doesn't really look... None of these drivers, of course you said they're not used to it, but remember, being a very elevation changing track like Portimao, you wouldn't be surprised if they were struggling. As I should check the chat, by the way. I've been getting some pop-up messages, so
I've got to
give
say
me
as
one
well,
moment.
Quickly, for all we know, the drivers still may have a full dry race, so these people could be drying fully dry setups, and obviously they will be compromising qualifying to ensure that they have a better race. And of course, a lot of drifts and a lot of sideward action that we're currently seeing could be because they're all running dry setups. But Will Murdoch into Ravazza in the final corner. He's still currently up on his lap. I'm not sure it's going to be enough to challenge for pole position, but he'll try anyway. Coming across the line now, does Will Murdoch?
Oh, it is pole!
Pole position.
Wow, and Rudy can't do any more. He's went into the pits. Lewis is also retired from the session in the pits. Marcados is now on a lap. How's he doing?
A 10th and a half up, supposedly, into the final 2 corners. It's now or never for the AlphaTauri driver. Can he get his car onto the front row, at least, or in front of the Alpine in front of him? As he comes up to the line, Marcados, what can he do? Third!
No! He doesn't even beat Rudy. And that'll be the end of his gambit then. 24 seconds. Actually, no, he has one more lap.
He doesn't stop. The Britishman does not stop. A 10th and a half up into Sector 2.
British, man. You mean Brit. Anyway, through Acra Minerali. Finally, I pronounced it correctly. And now, oh my, yeah, they are definitely running dry setups. Remember, they're not allowed to change their setups after qualifying. So they can't change, actually during qualifying. The first time they go out, that's it. They can't change it anymore. So that's why they're probably running dry setups. It looks much drier now. And I think Will Murdoch has a big advantage, a big edge as he comes into the final 2 corners now. How far is he going to extend his pole position? Provisional pole position, I should say. Here he comes to the line. He doesn't improve, but he remains at first. Marcados is invalidated. Marcados invalidates, so his joy. I think this is checkmate, unless anyone else tries to throw something in the works. Not Hyper. He is remaining in 7th. I think this is game, set, and match for qualifying. Unless Marlon tries to pull something out of the ordinary. No, he doesn't. It's 7th. I think that's the session over. Oh wait, Marcados... No, Marcados is invalidated. Forgot about that. Maledictus is invalidated. I think, unless Cortez pulls something, or Dutch Missile. Actually, Dutch Missile is out there. Dutch Missile coming across the line. He's not going to be close enough. It will be remaining in 14th, and Cortez I don't see improving either. Well, he does improve. He goes into the top 10. But of course, they will all get a free choice because of the weather being different. And it looks like it's stopped raining here. Oh, it still is, but not as much as it used to. And that means Will Murdoch has achieved pole position here in Imola. Geez, that was an interesting session.
A really impressive qualifying lap by Will Murdoch. And I think he's a driver that has immense potential, to be honest. He's consistently always on the podium, but that's essentially as long as he finishes. He's a driver that has everything at his disposal, and especially in wet conditions, he's able to adapt ever so quickly, and that is why he's on pole position today.
I completely did not notice, by the way, that Noof is not here tonight, which means he can no longer win the championship. I cannot understand how I missed that, but, well, commentators be commentators. The only guy I can stop him now is Joey Ronzeus. Mainly Joey, but you never know. So Joey needs to beat Rudy by 8 points. So, pretty much, Joey wins, Rudy finishes 4th or worse. Preferably Joey wins and Rudy doesn't get anything. He has a bad luck day. So here we go. This could be the title clincher for Rudy if he can stay ahead of his rival. Can he do it though? I think we've lost Cherry.
Sorry, my mic's just bugged out and it was awfully
Oh
on mute,
no.
So, I know you are very upset, but can he do it? That is the real question. He's only got to outscore him by a matter of points, as you said. I think it's, as long as he outfinishes his opponent, then that's it for him. That will be the season ended. For all we know, he might attend the final Grand Prix. He might do a last to first challenge. Who knows? But
I'd do that.
He's still got Will Murdoch in front of him today that he's going to have to beat in what looks to be a very sunny Imola.
Yeah, the sun has got his hat on for once here at the Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari, which is of course named after the legendary Ferrari brothers, or actually no, it might be his son, I'm not sure. Well, Ferrari family. Just to remind you, of course, we have Formula 1 in 8 o'clock, and at the same time right now we have Formula 2. So go watch that. Of course now it's time for F3. Free choice of tyres for all the gang. They get to start on whatever they want, whatever they feel comfortable with. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Let's see what all the drivers are going on to then as they start the Grand Prix for their formation lap, and already you can see that Will Murdoch from pole position has gone straight onto the medium tyres. Rudy will be keen to get first position into turn 1 on the softs, and elsewhere let's look a little bit further down the grid. We can get the graphic up. Yeah, the majority of drivers are all on the medium compound tyre except from Spreen, who is in 12th position in the Ferrari. So potentially for Rudy, he wants to get out in front and have clean air, while the others will be hoping to come back at him in a matter of laps.
Yes indeed, so only 2 drivers on the softs. Most of them are playing sensible and going to mediums. The long haul looks like it's going to be the meta game tonight. Just remember, we do have a sponsor, which I completely neglected. I do like to apologise to our friends from Grid Rival. We've been teaming up with Grid Rival for our annual Fantasy League of the 2022 F1 season. Just click the link, premiersimgl.com/gridrival, download the app if you're on mobile, register an account, search for our PSGL league and join, and you can create your own team. And we have some prizes, £50 prize pool, but I'm not sure if we got that because they had to join, 100 people had to join the league by the 18th of March, as you see all the drivers making their way through Varianteater, so I'm not sure if you can still join the league, but I hope you can, because that would be pretty sick if you could join us. But now we go to the race, what we've all been gearing up to. 32 laps of this 4.9 kilometer circuit, which has been around since 1980 in the Formula 1 world. 154.5 kilometers of pain await these brave souls. Who's your bet going to be? I heard it was Will Murdoch, am I right?
Yep, I said before that Will Murdoch for me was the man to beat. Incredibly inconsistent, but on his day can beat anyone on this grid. And he was just backing up the whole pack there because he'll be keen to make sure that Rulli has as little temperature in his tyres as possible if he's to retain the lead into turn 1.
Just waiting for the Dutch missile to come on into his grid box. Of course, you will be allowed to manually set up into your grid box in the next game, but for now it is automatic. Here we go. We have 5 lights ahead of the drivers for the ultimate time of the season. And it's lights out, away we go, and it's Will Murdoch that gets it in front. Rudy coming alongside him with those soft tyres. He's going to try and use them all to his advantage as they make their way down towards Tamburello. The other Alpine of Joey coming in as well as they come into the first corner, and Rudy cuts through Will Murdoch and takes the lead. Fantastic move by Rudy with the soft tyres. Now Joey's right behind Will Murdoch heading into the Villeneuve corners. But it is Rudy ahead of Will Murdoch and Joey and Marcados and Yogurt. Not having a good start, Marcados, and then Ron Zeus and Hyper, and Yogurt makes the move on Marcados, and they're still side by side heading into Variante Alter. Still side by side, but no, Marcados gets ahead. But it's Rudy well ahead, Cherry. Look at him go.
Yeah, he's checking out front. That's all he had to do at the start. To be honest, I looked at it and I thought Will had got it all covered, but Rudy came steaming around the outside on his soft compound tyres. I'm not sure if Will maybe took a bit of caution there, but Rudy got his elbows out for sure and made sure that he got into first place. And now, as the two Mercedes get so close on the exit into the final sector, and oh my god, the Mercedes is now getting swamped by Lewis as the AlphaTauri's down into the inside, and he's lost two places in the corners. Make it three. Spreen is now down the inside as well.
I think Maledictus has problems. He's staying out. He's brave soul, he is. But he lost a horrendous amount of positions, and he might lose another one. Resnick's right behind him. Maledictus having a shocker for start after his little argy-bargy with Cortez. And Resnick was thinking about a move in Tamburello, but he's not going to do it as of yet. He remains in 13th place. Meanwhile, Marcados behind the Alpine of Joey. The two Alpines, their job is to get Rudy as soon as they can and let Joey pretty much take the lead, because of course Joey is the one that needs to catch Rudy in this. As likely as it sounds, Joey can still win this title. Of course, I wouldn't want to conspire something, but you know, try a defensive masterclass, maybe Will Murdoch. Perhaps, or Will Murdoch's around! Well, that's out the window. Will Murdoch has spun at the Acriminal Alley. He wasn't looking comfortable at all. Some drivers had to cut across to avoid that. That might be ruled in their favour and removed if that means a penalty. But now Marcados, right, Joey is on his own. Joey, no Will Murdoch to assist him. He is going to have to work on his own to keep Marcados at bay. The pole sitter has fallen all the way to the back and he's lost his wing. He is going to be furious in his cockpit. Meanwhile, Rudy built his gap to over 3 seconds. But remember, he has the softer compound. He will have to come in much, much sooner. And Marcados right behind Joey, trying to make a move into second place.
I've got to say that I think a bit of a DRS train is already starting to form here, all behind Joey. It's not that Joey's slow at all. He's pushing him along there, the AlphaTauri, but he's not slow at all, but it's just the DRS on this game is oh so powerful. And
yes,
now got a yellow flag.
It's Dutch Missile has spun. Dutch Missile has spun, and he's down
like
13th. He does not, no. And Will Murdoch has come in to repair his car. Marcados still in the back of Joey, and behind him is the Yogurt. Yogurt wants to get into this mix too, as they head into Variante Alter. Anyone trying to be brave to make a move? And doesn't look like it. And there's a big train forming, as you said, Cherry. Looks like Ron Zeus, Marlin, and the rest of the gang are trying to catch up. And look at this! Look at this! A battle between Marcados and Yogurt in the cars, and Yogurt has went off and lost position and another position to Ron Zeus. And there's a spinner there. That's Hyper run off at the final corner. And he drops all the way down to 12th place. Meanwhile, the battle up front is Marcados and Joey. And Marcados makes the move, sorry we caught it late, and Yogurt gets past Ron Zeus for 4th. Lots of battles happening early on, and lap 4! And now Yogurt's going to go for Joey. Yogurt trying to find somewhere, somehow, to get past Joey. Joey made a mistake here last time, he doesn't do the same thing he did last time. Ron Zeus and Marlon also trying to get involved as they make their way around Tulsa once again, the 4th time tonight. That's 1/8 for the race pretty much complete. Cortez there as well in the distance, but of course that can all change. One slip up means you're going to lose some time.
Oh, Joey.
Oh dear.
There. He just needs to stay calm, but Yogurt as well, to be honest. Yogurt needs to stay patient, because I actually think he's one of the quicker drivers out of the whole of this pack, and last lap, that move really wasn't needed into Ravazza. If he just stayed calm for 2 more corners, he probably would have easily got the position. As now out of DRS's Markados for Joey, and it looks like Yogurt's now teared up and moved down the back straight.
I think the meddling has meant Markados has run clear, and now it looks like an easy job for Yogurt. Going to make the move past Joey into the podium spots. Meanwhile, far behind him, Marlon trying to challenge a lunge on Ronzus, but too little too late. He'll have to wait in the next try. But still a 6-second lead. But remember, Rudy is on soft tyres. He will have to pit much sooner. And it's going to be interesting to see how these two converge, the soft and the mediums, come the closing stages of the race. But for now, Rudy's trying to put every ounce of energy into this stint so he can run clear, and Dan Spreen, the unlucky guinea pig to receive his first penalty of this race. He will have 3 seconds added to his time at the end of the race. Can't get them removed unless it's in the steward's box, but you can get 5-second and 10-second penalties removed, as we see Marlon right on the edge of trying to get Ronzus, but unfortunately he is not going to be able to. And Lewis also getting a penalty too, so that's 2 with penalties. And Marlon, he's really close to Ronzus, isn't he, Cherry, as the Dutch missile spun off.
Yeah, they've all got to be careful with those penalties though, as Marlon is all on the back rim, because a penalty can decide your title or kill your title. But while Marlon just pulls to the left-hand side of the Red Bull driver, pardon me, and it's an easy pass straight down the back straight, and no real fight put up.
Yeah, the DRS is really showing its real potential here tonight, I have to say. And look at this, Ronzus trying to get back in the thick of it, but cannot get past Marlon as soon as he could. So coming through Villeneuve once again, and Joey, what's happening with Joey? He really is struggling to keep up.
Yeah, he was all out of shape and straight into the gravel. Picked up a bit of gravel, came back on track all okay, but lost yet again a whole heap of time, and he's already essentially 10 seconds away from his championship protagonist.
It looks like it's all about to unravel for Joey. Rudy running clear, but remember, he's got to stop. He's on the soft tyres. So it isn't quite over yet, but it does look like a distant possibility that Joey can pull himself onto his feet and back into the title race. It looks like the trophy is heading Rudy's way. The helicopter is flying towards the Netherlands.
Yeah, here we go then. It's Marlon in the back straight, and it's going to be a very easy pass. Yet again, I'm looking from Red Bull's point of view, as Marlon pulls to the left-hand side. It's easy as you like it for the McLaren driver, as the Red Bull driver looks like he could get a bit of taste into turn 1, but just luckily sits back. And further up front, we're now seeing Yogurt on the back of the AlphaTauri driver. He's getting a bit of a move on, and I'm starting to look at it now, and the gap really isn't increasing too much between Rudy and Markados. So it's starting to get to that stage now where the softs are still marginally a little bit quicker, but the mediums in only a couple of laps' time will be at least on par.
Yes, I should mention Ronzus is, despite the slimmest of chances, still in the title race. He needs to win and achieve the fastest lap in both of the next 2 races, and for Rudy to fail to score, that's the only person he has to depend on to slip up, Rudy himself. But at this rate, it's looking a distant possibility and an astronomical chance, as Yogurt still catching up to Markados. I'll tell you what, for a man that started in 5th, he hasn't done too bad. Of course, he hasn't advanced to most positions. That would be Lewis, Dan and Marlon. Marlon started in 7th, and now he is in 4th. Yogurt trying to move on Markados. This for 2nd place, heading down to Tamburello. It is Yogurt that takes 2nd place, and Dutch Missile gets a penalty. His day just gets much, much worse, as we see Rudy running clear of the pack with those soft tyres. These two in 2nd and 3rd still battling though.
It's a routine move for Yogurt down the back straight there, and interestingly, he's been able to save just a little bit more ERS than his front runner and Marquinhos behind. So potentially now he's got a bit of clean air. He can now use that, put his head down. He's still got probably at least 10 laps on these tyres, you would have thought, until he'll be coming on into the softs. So ideally, you'd be thinking if you were Yogurt, you want to be saving. Oh, in his round!
Oh no!
You won't be thinking that. It's the same as Will Murdoch.
Yeah, he has a lot of confidence, this Yoga, but I think he was too overconfident. Remember, he came in as a breath of fresh air at the last race we actually had 3 weeks ago. Yogurt won in Singapore on his debut as a reserve, but it doesn't look like that will be happening with a shadow of a doubt. He has spun at the Acromelinari, and there goes his chances. I think he's going to have to pull himself together and get back up the order as much as he can. We know he has the pace, but he's going to have to work for it now, as we see Maledictus making a move on Dan Spreen, who has a penalty. And to add insult to injury, he's going to get passed by Maledictus for 8th place. But it's still Rudy in the lead by 8.5 seconds, but at the moment he is going to have to pit as well, remember.
And to add salt to his wound, Will Murdoch picks up a penalty, 52 seconds off the lead. And only probably 5 or 6 laps ago was he in 2nd place and looking in a really good position. It could all change with one little mistake, as both Will and Yogurt have seen so far in this Grand Prix. Back at Rudy at the front, he'll be looking to come into the pits in just a matter of laps time. He's 1 second down in his delta, so you can tell how much those soft compound tyres have already dropped off. Personally for me, I'd be looking around, you're looking kind of lap 12, try eke them out to 14, but obviously the medium runners will start coming back to you. So interestingly, everyone now needs to get their head down and really put in some solid lap times if they want to be in that podium by the end of this race.
Well, the gap is now 8.5 seconds, 8.6, and all Rudy has to do after this is pretty much chase the following pack with, I have to mention, grippier and slower tyres. Less grippier and slower tyres, I should mention. And meanwhile, Marlon trying to get on the back of Marcados, and Dutch Missile has spun at the Variante Alter off camera again. It's a virtual safety car, actually. Yeah, he's lost his entire front wing. It's come clean off, and a virtual safety car has been deployed. And this is only extending Rudy's lead. He's now 11 seconds ahead.
If you're Rudy, would you pit right now? I'm not sure if you can eke out the medium tyres, but would you take a cheap pit stop for a set of the hards potentially?
If it holds on now, then maybe. But if he comes in, and as soon as they go racing again, then it's all for naught, really.
It'll be an interesting one, to say the least. I mean, the medium tyre runners could always come in for the hards. We're not sure, but Marlon for me is actually the quickest driver on track right now. He is lapping quicker than Rudy, so you can see that kind of crossover point, and it's happening right about now. I'm going to go on board with Rudy very, very quickly.
A drive-through penalty for Marcados. He is caught speeding under the virtual safety car. He was on negative delta, and as a result, he has been given a drive-through penalty, and he's wasting no time to get it taken now. He is going to be taking the drive-through penalty right now as he comes through the pit lane. No one allowed to help him. He is on his own. Meanwhile, battling between Marlon, Ronzus and Joey continues. Joey now in 2nd after Marcados has served his just desserts. A drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. Rudy decided to stay out. 10 seconds ahead now of Joey. The virtual safety car has struck wonders for the Flying Dutchman, as we call him. And no, not the one in PC, the one on PlayStation. But yes, Joey now going to be under the cosh even more from Marlon and Ronzus. And maybe Cortez too, he's joining the fray. Cortez started in 9th, he scraped into the top 10 in qualifying, and now he's chasing the leading pack.
I actually don't know when Joey got in front, because Marlon was always in front when I saw, and then obviously something's potentially happened at the restart between Marlon and Marcus.
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
too sure, and Joey's suddenly come through.
Yeah, I didn't notice that because it was too focused on Marcados being awarded a drive-through penalty. And as a result of that, he is now 9.5 seconds behind Resnick in 12th place, and he's really struggling for grip around the Variante Alta. But yes, still half a second between Ronzus and Joey. Getting very close is Marlon, but close but no cigar for Marlon. Joey can still in second. Rudy building his lead up to 10.3 seconds. It's so much that he's already lapped the Dutch missile, and Joey has had a problem. He's come out unstuck at Villeneuve and he's already lost 2 positions. Make that 3. Here comes Cortez perhaps, but no, it's just the 2. Marlon and Ronzus back in the 2nd and 3rd respectively. Joey now down to 4th where he started the race. Cortez is now going to be chasing him down, and this will be his 5th place again, and he's collided with Joey there at the Aquamino Rally. Now, did that do some damage to his car, Cherry?
I didn't see any bits fly off, but what I did see from Joey was just a few corners later, it was literally copy and paste from a few laps prior. He's gone straight into the gravel trap yet again, and he really lacks confidence in my opinion. He's fine in the DRS, but when he's out by in front, he just doesn't have the pace to really pull away from any of these drivers.
I'm afraid I have to agree with you there. Rudy is still out there, by the way, on 13-lap old soft tyres. I imagine the pit window is going to come around now, but he's not showing any signs of slowing down. He's been absolutely fantastic on these soft tyres, but of course he will have to pit and he will come in within traffic. But remember, the other drivers have to pit as well, but they'll be much faster, but their tyres will wear much more. So it's pretty much a race of attrition for them guys, and if they can keep it up, then they'll stay ahead of Rudy, but that is for later in the race. As we see, Rudy pulling up a 10-second gap, and the gap is starting to widen between those behind him. 7 tenths, 8 tenths now, and the Dutch Missile gets another penalty.
Marlon is definitely the quicker driver at this point, but I mean a 10-second gap is really hard to think that he's going to pull that back. He's now down to 9.9. He is obviously quicker than him now that he's been released, but it's only still a matter of temps as Rudy does come into the pit lane at the end of lap 13. I assume he's going to switch onto the medium compound tyres, but he's probably going to come out right in the thick of things, down with Hyper. Yeah,
and Rudy's pit. Rudy has pit for medium tyres, and this will be, that will be his stop. He will be racing the entire remainder of this race on those tyres. Where will he come out? It looks like it will be, no, it won't be Resnick, 11th. So it's now the other driver's turn, those who have not pit. And I do believe that includes Dan Spreen also on the softs yet to pit. I should put the tyres back on. Yes, the only drivers that have pit, or apart from Rudy, are Will and the Dutch Missile, of course, for damage. So it'll be interesting to see how Dan Spreen does on these tyres, unless he does pit right now. But yeah, top 6 all on medium, all in the same tyre age, but probably not same tyre degradation, of course, because they have to manage it themselves going around these corners. So Marlon now leads the race, and there's a yellow flag there. It is Hyper. Hyper went off at, oh, and so is his teammate. This is going horrendous for the home team. They're both struggling in their home turf. This is very uncharacteristic from the Ferrari drivers, and then he falls down to 11th, promoting Rudy up to 9th already, and he's already behind Resnick on these fresher, grippier medium tyres, and this should be a no-brainer for Rudy here. And he's not even got the DRS on. He's only going to make his way past Resnick, and this will be for 8th place. And remember, yeah, he's absolutely running clear right now. I think all the squabbling happening behind him has been really hurtful for the drivers behind. Dan Spreen has jacked it in. He is retired from the race, and that will be the end of his penultimate outing here in season 30.
A nightmare weekend for both Ferrari drivers, kind of similar to real life. While Rudy is, he's purple. He really is purple. He's setting the timing sheet to light. Elsewhere at the front, you would be thinking, personally for me, I would be getting the utmost out of these soft compound tyres. So I would want to be coming in at lap 18 at least. You've seen already that Rudy can do 14 on the tyres. So get them on as soon as possible, because that's the only chance that you've got if you think you can catch the Haas driver.
Yep, we should catch up with the leading pack right now though, Marlon and Ron Zeus, and there's another yellow flag, and that's Markados. His day's just getting worse, and it's a virtual safety car. Now what has happened?
Going now. Yep. Loads of them are in.
Yep, they're all coming in, and the top 3 have not pit. So that might be, yeah, they missed it. I think it just came as soon as it happened, and Joey, and oh, he's went into another car. So Joey is out on the softs, Maledictus out on the soft, Lewis, Yogurt all on softs now. So Hyper, I imagine he's further down the pit lane. Yep, soft it will be. And Rudy now, well, pretty much, he's going to be having Joey, Maledictus, Lewis, and all the rest of the gang chasing after him on the softs, and I do believe Dan Spreen, yeah, Dan Spreen's left the session, said my greeting host. So, yep, we're back on the rain, no penalties this time, and now Ron Zeus is right behind, well, not right behind, but he's getting very close to Marlon, I have to say. Marlon, of course, on 15 laps old, Ron on 15 laps old. Rudy's so far ahead that he could easily stretch the stint until the medium guys have to pit. Why is Noof not racing tonight, by the way? Not Rudy, Noof. Did I say Rudy? I do apologise.
Not a clue, but elsewhere at the front, it's... I don't know, you feel a little bit bad for them that the virtual safety cars come out, but I'm not sure if...
Should be prepared.
Some of these soft drivers... they really are probably going to get punctures at the end of the race. It's going to be really on the cusp. So it'll be interesting at the end of the race to see what happens, because tyre wear is going to be a factor. There's no lie about that. And the front runners, the only way that they've kind of got to win this race, they really want to extend the stint for a safety car now.
Yes, if a safety car comes out, it'll be a godsend to them, as we see Yogurt making his way past Maledictus, Lewis, making his way up the order after that spin at Ackerman Alley. He does not want to repeat that. He wants to get up the order ASAP, as the half a second gap remains between Ron Zeus and Marlon. This will be for the lead of the race, but remember, these drivers, including Cortez and Resnick, are yet to pit. So it's a very crucial stage of the race. You'd think they'd be pitting around this point. And it's going to be coming to this stage and say, right, boys, we're going to have to pit, and we're going to have to make this work like a dream, because Rudy has been absolutely fantastic on these softs. He's just been running clear. And I tell you what, right, I've got the standings here. He won the opening round, and then he won the Netherlands, Brazil, and Mexico. He's just been on fire this whole season, and Cortez has come into the pits as Renzer once again fails to pass Marlon. Cortez into the pits for softs, and I should imagine he will be behind Resnick. Remember, this is one of the longest pit lanes of the entire season. It goes on for so long, and Cortez is going to come at 9th. Behind Lewis, well ahead of Hyper, but yes, it's a very long pit lane, so you pretty much... Oh, and he got another yellow flag, and it is the Dutch Missile again. He's having problems all day. It's just not been on his way, and look, his teammates passed him. It's getting that bad. Markados setting the fastest lap, but it's pretty much a lost cause at this rate, and Dutch Missile...
See how much that they've gained out of the virtual safety car, a lot of these soft drivers.
Yes.
Cortez down in 9th place, and to be honest, the front two, they'll probably come out 8th and 7th, you would assume. From what was 2 and 3, it's just really bad timing for them.
Yeah, it's just, unfortunately, this is the sport. It can be very cruel to you. Things can change in an instant, and it would mean you'd have to rethink your strategy, but for now, we'll see how it does them in the long term. Marlon still leading the race, of course, yet to pit, as well as Resnick and Ron Zeus.
Yogurt setting the fastest lap of the race there. Joey, I'm interested to see what he can do. He's one of the drivers that really has to outperform Rudy, and he'll be hoping for potentially a late safety car, because at the moment he's really not making any inroads, even with his fresher tyres, his softer tyres. It's kind of stuck at the moment, and now he's got a Red Bull. Well, yeah, Red Bull in front of him that obviously isn't going to help during Sector 2 because he's moving extremely slow. No doubt he'll get him on soon. Well, there's a yellow flag as Sector
Hyper.
1.
It's Hyper. I think he went off at the Tamburello, and now Joey's right behind Resnick. Those soft tyres showing what they're really made of, and Resnick, wow, very early braking from Joey, doesn't want to take many risks, and Resnick still playing defensive as they head into the Variante Alta. He doesn't want to go over the top, does Joey. I think he might go for it here. He's had the better run out of the Alta, and still right behind. Is Resnick going to try a defensive move? No, Joey decides to back. Oh my goodness me, he nearly ran into the back of Resnick. Thankfully, he has good enough reaction times to prevent it, and he's going to drift past Joey. And look who's also behind him. Yogurt is back into this race, and he's going to go for the move on Joey. This will be absolutely fantastic as Marlon pits from the lead. Yogurt going on the outside, and he's done it. Absolutely brilliant. He takes third place. That was a move of the gods.
That you just have to drop your controller and you just got to clap. You've just got to clap. That is something absolutely amazing that he's pulled out from Yogurt. Not only has he just made a move for net P2 potentially in this race, he was around 5 laps ago, and we thought he was completely written off, and he's come back onto the podium.
Never count out a downed man. Yogurt is now chasing down Rudy with these soft tyres, but he's got to be careful. These tyres have to last till the end of the race. He's done half the race on medium tyres. How long, how much stress can these soft tyres take from the incredible powers that Yogurt possesses? It's going to be one interesting finish this race, I tell you. By the way, Ronzus is still yet to pit. He's been out these on 20 laps, and neither is his teammate Resnick. They are the only two drivers yet to pit. And Resnick's still not pitting. They're going the long game. They think if they can stay out on these tyres as long as they can.
Here comes Joey round the outside of Yogurt into
Brilliant.
turn 1. It's roles reverse. I mean, it's really not as impressive as the one on Yogurt, but they're just swapping around the DRS now.
Yes.
They are gaining on Rudy, but yeah, I thought Yogurt would just go off into the distance, but Joey's thought none of that. I've got to be in it to win it. Yogurt, very big drift yet again by Yogurt. He needs to be a little bit careful not to lose it yet again.
Yeah, Resnick's had a troublesome time at the first sector. He's lost positions and is now down to 9th. I think those tyres have seen their end of life. Their expiry date has just passed. And Marlon now chasing down Cortez and Lewis. He's been leading the race for a while, has Marlon. And he's going to try and work his way up. And Ronzus still out there. What was I going to say? I was trying to remember. Yeah, Ronzus is still, again, in the title race. So he probably wants the most out of these tyres when he comes in. And now Yogurt's going to be going for the move on Joey. This is very crucial now, as we have 11 laps remaining here at Imola, and it should be an easy move for Yogurt, and it is, but can he hold it together? Yes, he can. He's now into third once again, or net second. Question is, when is Ronzus going to pit?
Ronzus is on his hands and knees, I can confirm. He's hoping for a safety car, anything to ensure that he can somehow get at least up there in this Grand Prix, because that's the only thing he can play for now. As the two Mercedes drivers swapped into turn 1, so that's Cortez, the lead Mercedes driver now. But yep, he's just praying now, Ronzus. Anything, a bit of rain, something that just isn't predicted. He's hoping for it.
Yeah, he's went to church a day late because it is Monday, not Sunday, and he's just hoping. He's trying to do an Alex Albon. Well, not quite. He's not going to pit at the end of the race. They will not make 32 laps unless he goes super duper. And that is Lewis off the track at the Acqua Minerale, and he's really struggling. Those tyres do get hot when you're not careful. And Ronzus has finally jacked in the mediums. He thinks the expiry date is gone, and he's going to come into the pits. And it will be soft tyres, of course, no brainer. And he will come out, I imagine, in the mid-pack. They're all going to be racing past him. Rudy, once again, takes the lead. but don't count out Yogurt and Joey. Joey charging down to Yogurt now, but he can't make the move in time. He remains in third place. Marlon now has passed Maledictus. He will now try to conquer Cortez for fourth. 7.5 seconds the gap. Can he close it down in time, and can he hold on to these tyres without puncturing them?
I think he's going to have the majority of his tyres gone by lap 28, but it's going to be a battle of attrition, to be honest, because I'm not sure he's going to be able to last the full race, and it will be incredibly impressive if he can to do, what is that, at least another 10 laps, you'd say, 16 laps. I mean, I've seen it being done before, but it's going to be an ice rink going round for those final few laps.
Oh yeah, it's totally going to be an ice rink, and it's not even snowing, it's May. But yes, half a second now separating Joey and Yogurt. They've been battling nip and tuck for the past few laps. It's been fantastically mesmerising to watch. But in the end, there can only be one that takes this, that finishes ahead of the other. Well, there can be a dead heat, but the chances are absolutely obscene. Joey will now be the one with the DRS. Can he make a move on Yogurt? It's looking good. It's looking good. But what will Yogurt answer to it? Joey drifts past him, and there's no challenge from the Yogurt. Joey back into second, and Marlon has got past Cortez and is now 3 seconds behind Yogurt. But Rudy is still 7 seconds ahead. It's falling down quite a bit, but I don't think it's falling enough to justify a Joey challenge, or Yogurt perhaps. And I think Will Murdoch's retiring from the race. He's sped into the pit lane. And imagine, oh, he's still racing. He hasn't retired from the session yet.
3 seconds.
Oh no,
Massive
Joey! And that could be not only the end of his race win hopes, but the end of his title hopes. And that is music to Rudy's ears, and the music to everyone in the Netherlands' ears, perhaps as well. And now Yogurt as well. Yogurt has no penalties, and Hyper has a penalty now as well. But the gap, half a second, surely he's going to have to try and make the move here, right? At this straight, make the overtake? Well, let's find out. So. Let's find out.
He doesn't want to be held up at all, especially he's going to have Jeff. Jeff for 2 more races, by the way. F1 2022 will not have Jeff. He's only got him for 2 more races.
Good
he'll
riddance.
Be in his ear telling him as he pulls to the outside, and it's a clean and easy move, as while Marlon will now be looking at Joey ahead and licking his lips as well, thinking, I need to get past this guy because I want a shot at Yogurt, and he's got a penalty.
He wants a shot at Yogurt. Indeed, there's a spinner there. I think that was, oh, that's the Dutch missile, and I think, yeah, that's Maledictus. Maledictus in falling down the order, and that will be the end of his hopes of getting a good finish today. He's broken his wing. It's the last thing Maledictus would have wanted. So Rudy, now the gap is 6.7 seconds. I don't think it's falling down enough. It will be taking a miracle for Yogurt to win this race by the look of it. But hey, you never know. Weirder things have happened, and there's another incident. I think it's Maledictus again. Yeah, Maledictus still struggling on those very, very overheating tyres. Remember, these tyres do overheat quite a bunch if you spin or drift around a corner. You don't want to go too aggressive on these tyres, and Lewis getting another penalty there. It's just going all wrong for him, isn't it?
All wrong, but Yogurt elsewhere is slowly gaining, and it looks like he will be able to hold off Joey for the back straight for the first time in about 5 times, which is oddly very impressive. But he's got it down to nearly under 6 seconds now. To be honest, I really don't think he'll be able to catch Rudy, because the 2 tyres will start to stabilise in just 2 laps time, and it'll be I mean, if he does catch up, it would be unbelievable. But I think for him now, it's got to be preserving his tyres and making sure he gets to the end of this race for both of them, because Marlon behind 4 lap pressure tyres, he is hunting them down with a vengeance.
A vengeance indeed. The gap, half a second between second and third, and I think Maledictus has come in the pit. I think he might be retiring from this race. I'm not sure. No, he's not retiring. He's getting a new wing on. He can still get points, albeit very unlikely. That would take some miracle, as we see Yogurt and Joey still battling for position. Ron Zeus gets a penalty. They're all getting penalties now, except Marlon, Marcados and Rudy. Shows how clean they are, these 3 drivers. They've been absolutely fantastic all season. What's the word? Especially Rudy himself, who's won 4 races this season and is the only one of the title contenders to have won all season. Missile getting another penalty. He's now falling well behind. And there's an incident there. I think it's Maledictus again. He's just come out the pits. It's just coming out the pits. This is just going all wrong. As Yogurt still chases down Joey. This still for second place. Of course, these two, they just cannot get off of each other. 2 tenths the gap now. 2 tenths. 3 tenths. A lot of spinners
this race. And
yeah, there has.
I know that obviously Imola's very well known for its very high, and they don't really forgive you these kind of curbs, so they will spit you off. But oh, what else is that I've seen in AlphaTauri? Lewis has gone off there as well. Yet another person that.
It's tricky.
With the curbs.
Remember,
it's really tricky.
Yeah, this is the first time we've ever raced here. I think the tyres could be about to pop, you know, because they've been driving so aggressive. It could happen at any moment in this final stages of the race, and this is what the driver's going to be most worried about. I can see the wear on them. It's absolutely appalling. If you took that to an MOT test, you'd feel it immediately. And I think someone said along the line, if you had tyres like that, you could be pulled over on the road. I think that was James Allen when Raikkonen was having a problem. Here comes Jovic again. Marlin's right behind him too. He might be going for a move, but he doesn't. Joey is into third now, and Yogurt runs clear, and Marlin might be going for fourth here. Cortez is out. Cortez is out. What will this be? He's went out of Tamburello. Virtual safety car. Now, what is going to be going through the driver's mind with this virtual safety car? It could be a full safety car. As Maledictus has gone off again. He's still there, by the way. I don't know how. So, oh my word. This is... It's not a full safety car yet. But my word, that's Cortez out of the race. He was doing very well until that point. We didn't speak about him much, to be fair, but it's all over for Cortez.
Yogurt and Joey will be incredibly happy to see this virtual safety car, just because for one circulation of the track they can just get nowhere on their tyres, essentially. Minimal turning, and it will obviously help them to the end of this race. Not as much as a full safety car, mind you. They probably love a fresh set of tyres right now, but this will no doubt help them. And Marlon was honestly climbing all over the back of the two of them, and he's out for blood. So I think it will only be a matter of time until Marlon is probably up into second and going for second until the end of this race.
And people are saying that Rudy might get an easy win now. Virtual safety car is over. Racing back on the way for the final 4 laps here at Imola. By the way, Noof was not racing tonight because his shoulder popped. That's a really unfortunate way to end your title race hopes. But that's it, him not racing tonight. And yeah, they're all saying Rudy easy W. And I probably wouldn't be doubting them. It's looking plain sailing now. He doesn't have to worry about the tyre wear. He doesn't have to worry about the drivers behind him. He just has to just bring it home, and the title Formula 3 PlayStation will be his. Joey is absolutely helpless. His teammate retired well, he's not retired. He had a spin whilst at pole position. And then he's just struggled since. He's in a sandwich between Yogurt and Marlin. And he's also got a 3-second penalty to boot. It is falling away from Joey and Ronzus, and Rudy is just getting closer and closer to the big prize. As there's another incident, by the way, it is Marcados. He's had a spin there, and Lure's getting another penalty. It's just been so bad for the AlphaTauri boys today. Pretty much their home race. This is their local track. It's just been a disaster waiting to happen. Marlin now, and Joey also has DRS, but Marlin has more straight line speed, and he's going to go round the outside. How is this going to end? Coming into the Tamburello, they go side by side in the Tamburello, but Joey stays ahead. Marlin still in fourth. This battle just gets crazier and crazier, despite Joey having a penalty.
I had a little flashback there to Valtteri Bottas and George Russell.
Oh
I know
no!
It wasn't raining, but it was. Oh, Joey was really squeezing Marlon onto the grass a little bit.
Oh,
there.
it was.
Last of the late breakers, Joey came out on top, and Marlon couldn't really do anything. He had to back out, and no doubt that this time around they'll be battling yet again down the back straight, as Yogurt is probably licking his lips, getting the yogurt off his lips, as these two battle behind.
Yes, he is. This is only helping Yogg at this battle. If Joey gets too much involved with Marlon, then it could cost him. It could cost him a chance at second place. And look at this, Marlon right behind Joey now. And there's the view of Joey. Look how close they are as they come into the straight once again. Will Murdoch behind there, just been lapped. He's still on for a point. And here we go, Marlon gonna try a move now. And he will get the overtake, but will Joey strike back? That's the question I'm going to be asking. No is the answer to that. He cannot find a way, and they're now going to try and catch Yogg. I think what they might do is declare a truce on each other and just give each other DRS to get Yogg, and I think it might have worked. Marlon, I think Joey has conceded he can't get third place now. Marlon's going to be going for second place here. Yogurt needs to just try and hold off the chasing Marlon and the McLaren, and we've lost Maledictus in the pits. He's called it a day. He's not getting anything from Emilia Romagna. And now, Marlon, 3 attempts to get, my word, how are these two stalled together? Sure, there might be a champion crown, but we cannot forget of the battles going on right behind him. Yogurt, who won last time, going for another fantastic reserve performance against the chasing Marlon and Joey, a PSGL stalwart. This is going to be the final lap. Rudy starts it off and Markados actually gets past him. Little naughty. But here he comes. This is might be the second to last chance for Marlon. Yogurt is half a second clear. Marlon is chasing down Joey, nowhere to be seen. Here he comes. Marlon gets past. Yogurt has no answer. He's been mullered. It's Marlon into second place. Fantastic from Marlon. Can he hold it off?
I would love whatever Marlon has in the back of that McLaren, because it's an absolute rocket. I thought at the start that Joey had his blinkers on, he was harvesting energy under 10%, but oh my god was I wrong, because that McLaren was an absolute rocket ship down the back straight, and Yogurt, he was helpless. But please take us to the championship leader and what it looks to be the new champion for the season 30.
Yes, it is. Speaking of Dutch, there's the Dutch missile. He's just stopping on the track. I think I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to wait to be lapped by Rudy. There he is. Rudy, he knows he's done it. He's celebrating like mad. He's already going side by side. Well, it went Dutch in the real Formula 1 World Championship under controversial circumstances. It went Dutch in PCF1. It's going to go Dutch in PlayStation F3. It's Rudy who wins the PSF3 title and spins the car into the gravel. That's not pretty good. It's Marlon that gets second. Yogurt, a great performance, but alas, it's going to be third place this time. Joey gets fourth. Ronzu's fifth. Hyper will be sixth. In fact, these fifth below have not finished the race. Will Murdoch lapped, but he will receive 1 point for finishing in 10th. Hyper is going to cross the line in 6th. Resnick 7th. Lewis at 8th. Markados will be 9th after the horrendous day for both him and Will Murdoch, who shine in the rain in qualifying. But it's this man, Rudy 1973, is going to party like it's 1973. He is your PlayStation F3 champion. Like, could party like it's 2022 if he wants. I mean, to be fair, we've been partying since like it's 2020 for a couple years now. I need a break from all that hoo-ha. But yes, we have a champion, and I couldn't think of a more deserving one. His 5th win this season, including 3 consecutive ones from 9 through to 11, and this one, the first round of the season as well. He's just been on a different level.
A real champion's drive as well. It's really impressive just from the start. I mean, I said that I thought a lot of drivers were going to go to the mediums, and on the front row he had the balls to put the soft compound tyres on, and really he just checked out front. As soon as he got out front, he didn't look like leaving top spot. A really impressive drive, and to be honest, I can't wait to see what he can do next season. Assuming he would probably get promoted to Formula 2. Yeah,
well, it looks like the ways he did definitely have the, well, I'm not sure if you should be saying balls in that manner, but yes, he definitely was fantastic on his soft run, going against the grain, going for a alternate strategy, and it has paid off massively today, and as a result the trophy is his. He cannot be caught. He is the PlayStation F3 champion in their 30th PSGL season. Marlon gets a respectable second after starting 7th, Yogurt finishing in 3rd, Joey finishes where he started, 4th place. Ronzus went up a position, Hyper went up 2 positions, Resnick went up 6 positions, well done him. Lewis in 8th, Mark Dawson 9th, and Will Murdoch in 10th, and funnily enough, I don't have to scroll down. Maledictus, by the way, finishing 3 laps behind. It's just wouldn't be his day. But championship might be all over, but we do have 1 round left to go, and that will be in Bahrain, where the F1 game cycle started back in August. We finish where we started. We are going to be at the Sakir circuit one last time in this era, the hybrid era of Formula 1, the last ever race until we go to those brand new cars for 2022 F1 22, which will be in the summer, and that's for later though. We should go to now. Cherry, please can you escort our winning candidates into the party chat, please, the commentary booth. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, we'd love to get an actual podium, but we can't really afford one, so we have to bring them into the commentary booth. Sorry, PSGL doesn't have as big of a budget as the real Formula 1, you know what I'm saying?
Sure,
or Formula 4.
A conversation with Big C.
Yeah, I'm absolutely stunned by Rudy. He kept it clean all race, and as you can see me trying to find the winning car, it will be the Haas. And in well, technically Dutch colours, it's the colours of another country, but for obvious reasons we'll not mention that. There it is, the winner's car in, well, Victory Lane. It's actually the PSGL headquarters, but we brought it here. That's our Victory Lane. That is the winning car.
I cannot add Rudy due to his party settings or profile settings, so...
Oh, well, it never happened to me. Alright, let me try. Alright, technical difficulties. This video was brought to you by Grid Rival, and that's not a joke. Rudy 1973, the winner. And it will be Marlon, I think. I can't find him actually. What's his name again? I forget. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to find Rudy's name. Not Rudy's name. That's 1973 actually. It was VIR Marlon. Wait, have you added Marlon? Ah, what a shame. Well, we'll try and get everyone as we can. There we go. And Yogurt. Just give me 1 second, folks. We'll just get everyone in and we'll talk about our new champion. Alright, we're back and we're just hoping that the driver comes in. Remember, this is the penultimate round of the season. We go to Sakir for the final one next week, and unfortunately I will not be there due to work commitments. Unfortunately, work life takes priority, so it will just be James Head and maybe you, Cherry, if you can make it.
Maybe, unsure. We'll have a word with Jess and see what she says.
Alright, and look at it, we have the champ. The champ is here. Rudy is your season 30 champion. Congratulations.
Yeah, cheers.
Yes, you had a very different day compared to the others. You had started on the softs instead of the mediums, which only one of our driver, Dan Spreen, replicated. What was your thought process going to the softs instead of the mediums, which was many others were going to do? Because of course, you had to get a free choice because we were in the wets. What made you want to start in the softs, not the mediums?
Well, I knew I had good pace. I think for most races I've had probably best pace out of anyone, so I knew I was probably going to be able to get a gap. But the delta isn't that big between the mediums and the softs, so I was quite surprised with the gap I was putting.
Yeah.
I was just gaining. There was one lap where I gained like 2 seconds, and then wheel spun as well, and then pace was just managing really. Even when the tires were like 50%, I was still gaining, and then just managing till the end. Basically.
Well, it seemed to have worked. You were absolutely dominant, and considering you had the pace, I wouldn't be wrong because you went. This is your 5th win of the season. Of course, we did have. I do believe you're the only title contender without those who were promoted to win a race. As you can see, it was pretty much you and Matthew winning most of the races. Cameron Dowd's there as well, I should mention, who's in F2 right now. Do we have the results, by the way, in F2? I hope he did well.
I think he didn't race.
Oh, he didn't? Oh, okay. That's unfortunate.
I know Tom won again, 6 in a row.
Tom? Oh god, him again. He's absolutely fantastic. Well, Rudy, I've got to say, you are now the champion. Are you looking to get a promotion up to F2, maybe F1?
I mean, that's the aim. The pace this last part of the game has been outstanding. And I feel like definitely on this game I would be able to match most of the F1 guys.
Yeah.
And next season, of course, with the sign-ups, it's going to be insanely sweaty. But I mean, the game is always just to get promoted. Now I've won the championship. I think hopefully with all the sign-ups I'll still be able to get into F2 at least, and maybe even F1. Like the aim for next game is definitely to get into challengers. So so I'm hoping for F1 placement next season.
Yep. Well, I'm probably going to let you get some. Actually, no. Wait. Before we do that, do we have any questions from Cherry?
Not really. But the only one that I could think of is that obviously you kind of dominated the whole of the Grand Prix as soon as you got out front. Was there only thought in your minds to make sure that potentially there was no safety car or anything like that, and that was maybe the only thing that could take away victory from you today?
Well, I stayed out extra long in the first stint because I had that big of a gap. I was just staying out as long as possible so no safety cars could screw me up. Were a few VSCs, but I had to outscore Joey. He'd have to outscore me by 10 points, and I already saw he had a penalty. So last 10 laps, I was just the only thing that could stop me was probably a wheel disconnect, which luckily didn't happen.
Yeah.
So,
Well, Rudy, I'm probably going to get you, well, I would say rest, but I think you'll be popping the champagne cork right now because you are now, you cannot lose that trophy. You go into the final race this season with Joey finishing 4th and you winning. You had, by the way, who got the fastest lap? I didn't see anyone, I was just too focused on congratulating you.
I think Marco got the fastest lap. Yeah,
okay, so that means you would get 16, so 8. You now have a lead of 32 points. And
I've got to say,
that cannot be assailed.
Is there any plan for a last to first challenge in the final race?
Oh gosh, here we go. Yeah, get in there. Well,
I look forward to seeing that.
Hey, that's my line. Well, yeah, we do. We hope you can pull it off. If you can pull it off, if you're watching this Big C, get them into PC, F1, let alone PlayStation. right now. Anyway, yeah, we have another Dutchman, not just Jarno Opmeer. One's not enough, considering the expansion of Formula 1 into the Netherlands. But yes, once again, many congratulations and enjoy your celebration.
Yeah, cheers.
Alright, there we go. Your champion for Season 30 in PlayStation's Formula 3 is Rudy1973. Yeah, right. This is why we need a live audience. Anyway, we now move on to Marlon. He started in 7th place and finished in runner-up position. Well fought there, Marlon.
Yeah, thank you. It was pretty hard race. Yeah.
Yes, it was. I was looking at all those battles. Like, it was always Joey and then Yogurt, and then Joey gets a penalty, and then you coming in from nowhere, going past both of them and into 2nd place for the race. That is one heck of a job.
Yeah, thank you. But like I said, it was a pretty hard race. The
It was.
BSC compromised my strategy massively. Because I was just passing the pit lane and then the BSC came out and everyone behind me dived into the pit lane. But yeah, I managed my race very well, had really good pace, had much confidence in the car and in myself, and yeah, it was a pretty fun race. I enjoyed it, and yeah, now I'm on P2 and I'm very happy that I could pull it off that well.
Yeah, you were leading the race for a bit of the time, of course, because of course Rudy pitted, and I think who was the other driver that was next to you? I can't remember when you were fighting. Was it Yogurt or was it? Because I'm starting to remember everything.
I think Ron Zeus.
Yeah, Ron Zeus.
One of the Red Bulls.
It was Ron Zeus. Yeah, you were having a little battle with him in the mid part of the race, when, especially when around the time the virtual safety car came out. I think your task was just to keep him at bay, and you did very well as well. Of course, you started on the mediums as well, so probably had the status quo for everyone there. It looks like it worked out for you. The virtual safety car played in well into your hands, and you managed to capitalize it. Very well done. And do we have a question from Cherry before we let you go?
Quickly, we've obviously seen that this season you've got 2 third places, 2 now second places. I've got to ask, Bahrain Grand Prix, can we see a win?
I hope so. I like this track, and yeah, maybe I can win when Rudy does lost the first challenge, because he was outstanding this season. He did a really good job after Matthew and Cameron left the league. And he managed it well, and it's well deserved, and GG's to him. And yeah, I want to thank my race engineer again that did a really good job to engineer me again. And yeah, VAR is wants to become one of the best German teams, and we are on a good way, I think. And yeah, I'm really grateful to have this team behind me.
Well, I should say you did fantastically well keeping Yogurt and Joy at bay. Pretty much the man that came out of nowhere, and you know, all that battling is all that pain is probably paid off well for you, and I think you deserve a well-earned rest for the next week, and we will see you in Bahrain for the finale.
Yeah, thank you.
Alright, and that's our 2nd place finisher, now on 56 points provisionally, putting him at the same level Cameron Dowds was until he left halfway through the season. And move on to Yogurt. Yogurt, we meet again. You won last week on your debut, but you nearly got 2nd place, but just missed it at the last moment. Had to settle for 3rd, but still, a perfect podium record. How are you feeling after that?
Bit annoyed, but
yeah.
I think I could have done way better. But
Just be lucky you joined late and not into the title race.
yeah, I don't care. In F5 I got 0 podiums, but I have.
Yikes.
That was really bad.
Yeah, you've been on fire by the looks of it. So I honestly think we could see you in maybe F2, maybe even F1 if your pace gets even better. Of course, there's going to be new handling in the next game, and it'll be interesting to see how drivers fare on that. But for now, you've been on an insane pace, and I cannot wait to see what you've got up your sleeve for Bahrain.
Yeah, we'll be on PC next game, so F2 a bit optimistic probably, but I'm happy.
Yeah, and you spun midway through the race as well.
Yeah, that was so stupid. I don't even know how it happened. I just lost the car. I have no idea. I have no clue.
Yeah, Imola's one of those tracks you don't want to put a foot wrong, or it will cost you big time. But you came back. Did you think the virtual safety car played into your hands and helped you?
Yeah, definitely. It helped me out a bit, but at the end my tires were obviously completely gone, so Marlon had it easy on me.
Yeah, Atcombe or Alley is not a corner to be messed with, I have to say. But you did well to come back.
It was such a shame it rained, because my dry quali pace was so consistent in practice, and then obviously it rains. So.
Yeah, same. I did 13.6 constantly, and
yeah,
rain.
Yeah, so, people don't really expect the rain when it comes. You know, it's people just have millions of hours. Well, that's a bit of an exponent, with a bit of an exclamation, but you know, they don't really expect the rain to come, and when it does, you know, their practice could all go to pot. So, new drivers especially, if you want to get into league racing, please. Focus on wet weather as well as dry. It could really help you when it matters.
Yeah. But yeah, after the spin, yeah, I still have P3. I'm happy. I should be happy because got away with it. But could have been. I think if Will Murdoch didn't have a mare at the start, you know.
Oh, he had a horrible race. Got 1 point.
His pace was okay. I won't say that, but it was quite shocking.
Yeah.
On the sauce. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he really got away in the first place, but he deserved to win anyway.
Yes, he did. He's a fantastic champion, and I can't wait to see what he's got up his sleeve in season 31 when we go on a brand new game with brand new cars and brand new physics engine, perhaps. I just can't. I've not been hyped for an EA game since FIFA 22, and we all know how that went. Sorry to EA, by the way.
Bit of a shitty game.
Yeah, but let's not go there and just look forward to the future. One more race to go. Should say thank you for being here, for taking your time to get an interview from us, and wish you the best of luck in the final race in Bahrain. Let's hopefully see more of you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for commentating.
Yeah,
as always.
Alright, and that's it. One more race to go. After this, it will be at Bahrain. We started there back at the start of the game cycle, and we're going to finish there. And send off the hybrid era with a bang. The final race after so many enduring races and so many champions going past, including Jarno Opmeer, both in PlayStation and PC. Big C winning a lot of titles, Wilson Hughes a lot, and this all comes down to this, the final weekend of the hybrid era until the new era F122 when EA takes full control of the game. It's going to be a sad day, there's going to be a lot of tears shed, but I assure you it's going to be one hell of a ride. Rudy promising to do a last to first for the fans. Maybe Yogurt should do it too, he's got the pace. Yogurt should do a last to first challenge.
Last to first. If everyone will do a last to first, there will be no last to first.
Okay.
Very true.
Alright, any last comments? Any last words from our co-commentator temporary? Maybe next week too. Cherry?
I'm all good, thanks for having me, and hopefully I'll see all of you on a bit more of a regular basis.
Yeah, I will be here next week, sadly, so that's my last race on this hybrid era. It's been fantastic, and I hope to be back next season. I'm sure I will. I'm not sure where. Probably, hopefully here, because it's been absolutely fantastic talking to all the guys here. I couldn't think of a humbler bunch. But for now, it will be goodbye from me, and I'll see you in F1 2022. See you, and James will be seeing you, and hopefully Cherry as well, for the final race of the season in Bahrain. I thank you all for watching, and from the Autodromo Enzo Edina Ferrari,